Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Shit Guys Talk About. I got Phil in the building, CLS, Taj, and the Manic Genius. So how's everybody doing?
Feeling good, man.
All right, man. Manic, what you doing in there, man? Walking around, making everybody look dizzy and stuff.
Nah, man, just got the little one, so multitasking.
What you making? Chicken nuggets? You see you in the kitchen. Trying to act like you making some like fancy dish and stuff. Look at him, got a bag and shit. What you got in there?
Got to cut up some apples for the little one.
Some apples.
Yeah, he loves apples. So
yeah, we might need to get you a female presence in there or something. You about to feed him like a whole apple. You about to cut like one little segment off of it and have him choking over there and stuff.
Oh yeah. Does he like it with the skin on, or he tell you to peel the skin off?
Oh, I always peel the skin off. Yeah, I don't even
peel the skin off. Yeah, they got one of those. You ever use one of those peelers? There's peelers that they have. You know what I'm saying? And you can peel the skin off with the peeler.
Yeah. I got
one of joints. Yeah, they come in handy. Yeah. Dope.
Y'all doing all that shit? I come from the old school when their parents would just throw the apple on the ground. Y'all guys are getting kind of soft nowadays.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Jesse?
Now kids like they don't like to eat the skin though. They just don't like it.
Is that a tank top or a new bra? He
said he the V-neck type. He said wear like the V-neck sweaters and the V-neck t-shirts. Yeah.
V-neck undershirt.
You trying to flex, man? You been doing some workouts? I know last time you kind of admit that, man. You've been falling off. You good now? You back on track?
Yeah, man. I'm in my cutting season now, so I've been.
Todd, you hear that nonsense? He said cutting season.
Oh
yeah.
What the hell's a cutting season if you don't work out on a full-time basis?
It's cutting log season.
Playing ball every day.
That's not a season. That's a like a what you call it a mistake and shit.
That's a lifestyle.
It's a mistake.
I had to go to a couple new gyms I never been to.
Oh yeah.
Make a name for myself. They're like, oh,
would you go to the, like LA Fitness for women?
LA Fitness.
I did go to a LA Fitness.
I knew it.
Yeah.
You check out that Orange Theory.
You gotta be careful going there too.
Why? What's wrong with LA Fitness?
LA Fitness? I don't know if you want to talk about it on here, but you be careful.
Oh, no, that's in Atlanta. That's in Atlanta. It's safe. It's safe in Virginia.
Dude, so the dudes in Virginia, they're not fishing? You close to DC?
No. It's safe over here.
Yeah. We all there's the fishing they doing is in the Potomac River.
It's funny you say that because I was
go to the
last time I was in Atlanta. The last time it's funny CLS says that because the last time I was in Atlanta, I hit my cousin up and I was like, "Yo, we need to hit up a gym."
Yeah.
And he was like, I used to go to LA Fitness, but they started shooting out there, and he was like, they were shooting last week. I was like, well, that was last week. Probably saying I won't be there.
Man. They shoot everywhere though. You could be in a Walmart parking lot. They shooting Walmart parking lot, LA Fitness, Kroger's. People dying to a parking spots.
Yeah. At a Trader Joe's.
Y'all, man, y'all unhappy out there, man. I gotta live in like good places, man. I can't be doing that stuff no more.
No, you be a Trader.
You said Trader Joe's.
I said you go to Trader Joe's, go and get you some bagel seasoning or something like that, and get shot.
He said some bagels.
It probably ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But all right, we'll go ahead. We'll jump into the first topic. So Phil, man, this the one you brought up. So let me go ahead and introduce the topic, and then I'm gonna let Phil cook and why he chose this one. So the topic for today, the first one is the Disney and fairy tale movies make us all delusional. And Phil, why'd you choose this topic? And I'm gonna let you cook.
So, I chose this topic because I have a little girl, right? And when I was a kid watching all the original like Lion King, Little Mermaid, all this different stuff, right? They depict this like fictitious like lifestyle in the sense that like a woman has to have a man in their life. Without that man, they cannot thrive. They can't do anything. And in most of Disney movies, there's a girl chasing a dude. The end goal is not to be an individual. The end goal is not to be strong and independent. It's not. The end goal is I'm gonna chase this man. He's gonna give me everything I have, right? And the ironic part
Princess
is,
and the Frog, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what now?
Except for Princess and the Frog, man.
Bro, she had to kiss a frog, turn
Mm-hmm.
into a frog, then get it with the nigga anyway. Like it's I can roast on that one too. I know all them shits.
Like
But
Shrek.
like, I mean, the main one is like Little Mermaid, right?
It's you said
She
sure.
gave up her entire.
That's DreamWorks though. We talking Disney. That's DreamWorks. Never mind.
Yeah,
DreamWorks.
that's
What
true.
was?
But it's still fairy tale movies.
It's
We're
Yeah,
good.
it is
Go ahead,
very
break that down.
good.
Break that down.
Yeah.
These
Disney
women are
and
just
fairy
like,
tale movies.
they're
Yeah.
giving out like they're giving their whole life up for a fucking dude, like just everything. And then, like me having a little girl, she's watching this shit, and I gotta be like, nah, sweetheart, fuck all that. I need you to be independent. And like, but not like the older movies are like that, right? The newer ones are kind of getting more toward like independency because a lot of people complained about it and shit. But it gives off this false sense of like how the world is gonna be, how there's not like enemies, and how there's always a fairy tale ending. That's not how life is. That shit is not like that at all. But that's what they're depicting.
Mm-hmm. Can I add on to what he just said?
Yeah,
They did-
absolutely. It's your turn, anyways.
Disney didn't produce it, but they did the same thing with Twilight. If you look at the concept of Twilight, how you have a teenage girl fall in love with a vampire, her whole world revolved around Edward. If you think about it, if you watch the whole franchise, if you watch all of the film, if you watch the whole series,
Yeah, Twilight.
I wanted
Edward
Twilight.
was the world's dumbest like vampire. My man was like 120 something years and still in high school.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. They put
But
that
all right, we'll go to UCLS. So do you think Disney and fairy tale movies make us delusional, and explain why from your take?
Well, it's like Phil was saying. I mean, they do make it seem like in a lot of their movies they make it seem like it's you always have like a young girl, you know, chasing a young guy and falling in love, and then like our whole world revolves around that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it that one sided though? Y'all think?
Yeah. Well, Barbie was. I didn't see the Barbie film. Did you see the new Barbie film?
No,
Taj?
I haven't seen that yet.
I've never seen it.
You haven't seen it? You saw it? Phil saw it?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So was it like that? Was it like the whole Ken and Barbie thing where it was like Ken was pursuing her, or was the other way around, or
It was a bit of both, but it's like Barbie was like one couldn't work without the other.
Yeah.
And then Barbie was like, nah, I'm gonna go do my thing. Ken, you go that way at the end. They end up splitting.
Oh, okay. But you see how like they market the toys. Like if you go to like toy stores, how they market those toys, and it's like Barbie has like she's like every occupation now. You ever see that in the stores with the dolls? And now they're like black and white and Asian and in wheelchairs, and this is Bungie's Barbie. She's barbecuing and bungee jumping and cooking, and she's a doctor, a nurse, a homemaker. She every job you think of now.
Man, I heard of that Barbie movie though. They treated Ken like shit though.
What was it? Ryan Gosling, was it? Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, I heard like Ken's, man. The Ken's segment was like they said it was like reverse like sexism or something like that in the movie and stuff.
The woman was up here, the man was down here.
Oh, okay. Who's the
because I saw a lot of people breaking it down. I got to watch it so we can do the breakdown on that because I do want to give our take. But so
yeah.
So CLS, so you do think there's a lot of delusion in like Disney and fairy tale movies, but do you think it's like one-sided?
It's just like it's almost like what's it like? You know, like when you watch like romantic movies on romance, you know, saying romantic comedies are just I don't know, like The Notebook and Sleepless in Seattle and movies, you know, like movies like that. You know, saying where it makes it seem like women have like it gives women like high expectations of what to expect, like in their future partners and stuff like that. Like they think, like they watch the film and they think that's going to happen to them, or it's a chance that could possibly happen to them. They can end up in that situation.
No, I agree. I do think there's a lot of that baked into movies and stuff like that. So I think you hit on it, Phil hit on it. But let me get Taj because I got some more questions. Taj, do you think Disney and fairy tale movies make us delusional?
Yeah, I agree with Phil. 100%. Everybody should know. Disney is a bunch of BS. You know, they lied. they took other fairy tale stories from the Grimm Bros and polished them up. The Grimm Bros, man, those some dark ass stories, dog. It was no happy ending. In fact, it was traumatic. You know, if y'all read those stories, they would never be the same. So I think that was the whole goal for Walt Disney and the gang to take those stories and kind of polish them up a bit for kids to enjoy them. Like Pinocchio was probably the worst one. If you look that one up, the real story behind him, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have some nightmares tonight. But that gingerbread man, he was killing kids and shit. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out. It was eating at me for a minute, but I agree with Phil. 100%, man.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get my man.
Was it with the Pied Piper a Disney story too? The Pied Piper?
Yeah, that came from the Grimm Bros as well, man.
Yeah.
Cinderella, Rapunzel, Snow White.
Yeah, those are some dark stories. We ain't getting into the Pied Piper shit.
That's a dark story. I know the story. That's some dark shit, yo.
Yeah.
I know that one. But
yeah, your boy. I was like, I didn't know why. Like when they somebody was telling me the background of that story, I'm like, lock him up.
All of them have dark.
Straight to jail, no pass.
And then R. Kelly was calling himself the Pied Piper. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. That's what I'm saying.
The music.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's definitely one. That's definitely a movie that brainwashed his ass.
Yep.
But all right, Jesse. So do you think Disney and fairy tale movies make us all delusional? And explain why.
Absolutely, but I also think there's an additive too. I think it desensitizes us to certain situations and in certain emotions and builds up blocks and like builds up unrealistic expectations for like what we want out of life. And like shoot, you go through like if you go through like if most of us on here are parents, right? So you go through like the developmental stages of like children and like how they develop emotionally and psychologically and all of that. Like it matters what they see. So if we're watching all these kid movies as kids, like that picture of what we see a healthy relationship is on the screen. So that's where we get that influence from. And it imprints on our subconscious, so psychologically, I do think it makes us a little delusional and also desensitized and think that like this is the way it's supposed to be or it's supposed to happen. And then now as you see as they're changing the dynamics where they're allowing like more women to be independent and they're showing that in the kids movies now, I think it's going to just create it's going to create an opposite pattern if we like as parents let our kids watch this stuff, and they'll develop in that way if you're not constantly in the environment showing them a healthy relationship with another partner and real person.
All right, let me get Manic Genius take on this. Do you think Disney movies and fairy tale movies make us delusional?
I think if you put too much emphasis in it, absolutely. I'd agree 100% with Phil. But I mean, if you see it for what it is and don't allow yourself to get caught up in it, it teaches some good lessons. I grew up on Disney and
makes sense now.
I grew up on Disney and I never let it consume me. I never thought I was going to have a fairy tale life. But no, I definitely agree that there's always a happy ending. But the audience are kids, so it is what it is.
Yeah, just to tackle the question, I do think, like I said, not everybody, but I do think it'd make people delusional to the extent. Like I know Jesse just hit on it with the expectations, but I just think like everybody thought like they're gonna get that princess or super attractive person. It's gonna work out. They're gonna be a prince and stuff. And I think that aspect, like increase expectations. Because you might not be considering it like when you're older and stuff. Of course, you could like decipher through information and you could put proper perspective to stuff, but when you're younger, you see those outcomes and you're growing up watching that shit, because like even Beauty and the Beast, he turned into, a prince and all that. So it's just, it's like everything always works out and stuff.
Yeah, every woman needs a hero in a Disney movie. And there's always a man that's going to rescue her. He's going to rescue her by brute force. Like, all right, that's not always the case. Always.
Yeah, because I think in those movies, it's like it always works out, regardless what happens. And I think that's what kind of makes everybody delusional when they think like everything's just going to be linear, line up. The guys is going to kind of like land in a path, or the female. Instead of people have to work on certain things like your own personality, your own character. They never introduced that in the movie, so I think like we did mention like the expectations. Like everybody's like, hey, this person's just going to come find me, regardless whatever point I'm at in my life and stuff. And I think now we're kind of seeing like the outcomes of stuff where people that say they go to school, they focus on career now, like they're like not in relationships, they're rushing into stuff, things ain't working out. So it's just like, damn, I thought I would be in a good state. I'll have my family, my husband or my wife, everything would be together. And then I think people never thought about the like dynamics of everything. You can't have it all type thing. And I think these movies somewhat position us to think that we can have it all and everything's going to be just like white picket fences. Everything's going to work out. So yeah, I think they did make us delusional to a certain extent.
And then one other thing that they did that people aren't even thinking about, they're promoting these little ass girls in these Disney movies to get married at a young fucking age. We're talking 15, 16 years old. Like,
true.
People aren't thinking about. They're like, oh, Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid was fucking 16.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. The girl White was like 15, and they're getting married to these grown ass men. Anyway,
wasn't Pocahontas 14?
Yeah, they were young.
Pocahontas was 14, right?
But I don't think that as far as the promotion, I just think, man, I think that it was the main aspect was just, I think people think they can have it all. And I think that's what's like kind of capturing everybody where it's just, everybody's just not prepared until you start going through life and you start dealing with stuff. It's just like, yeah, you know what?
Fuck Disney.
I wish somebody would have told me this stuff earlier. I could have mentally prepared or did some things differently. So,
yeah.
But all right, let me ask you guys this question. And so which gender do you think is more delusional, men or women? And I'll start with Manic first since he was last.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You said which gender is more delusional?
Yeah, would you say?
I'm a little bit biased. I'm gonna go with the women are more delusional.
Right.
Why would you say they're more delusional? Give some context to that.
I thought you was going to just let me skate. I was going to just skate.
No, there's no skating.
Oh man, shit. Where do I start? Where do I begin? I think just in general.
Who hurt you?
The way how.
Who hurt you, prick?
No, I'm like eating right now. The way that society treats young girls and even women is from the standpoint of like they should be protected and like cared for, and it's like almost like they're the center of everything. Versus men are like taught to go out there and face the world, face challenges. Like I'm not saying that women aren't taught that as well, but the overarching initial dynamic is it's like, hey, go out there, conquer, compete in sports, and they push like women, like, oh, be a cheerleader, support, like be pretty, make sure you take care of yourself, and so you can kind of like the whole Disney thing, like you do everything right, know how to cook, clean, and stuff like that, and your Prince Charming will come and rescue you, and you'll live a great life. But yeah, so I think when it comes to dating dynamics, I think it's a delusional on both sides, because just in that dynamic, or that just in that dynamic that I outlaid, men are more so looking at things like, oh, I'm the protector, I'm the provider. And women are looking at things like I'm the nurturer, I'm the home giver. And I think that a lot of men, if they look at everything from the protector provider standpoint, they don't see their woman as having an opinion and stuff like that. So I think it's delusional on both sides, but I just say women more so because just with that whole dynamic of just being pretty, a nurturer, provider, like that's not going to pay any bills. So they would never leave their home.
All right, let me get Taj on this. Who do you think which gender is more delusional, men or women?
Skip me for right now.
Okay, I'll come back to you. CLS.
I was gonna add on to what Manic was saying.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that's because of remember back when like women didn't have equal rights? Like it was not even white women had equal rights, and they treated and men. It was like in society they acted like men were better than women. You know what I mean? Like there was a period, and then they would pretty much just keep women in the bedroom and the kitchen. You know what I mean? That type of shit back then.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. CLS, like, that was the original. I mean, really at no
that
fault
was like
women.
With the 60s.
Yeah, it wasn't like the 40s and the
Like
50s and the 60s probably.
Yeah, it was pretty fairly recent when you look at like timelines and stuff. So yeah, I think that does play into it.
Think about the TV shows back then too.
Yeah,
like how they were laid out. Like I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Because Ricky
Ricardo.
Okay, no, okay.
He said Ricky Ricardo.
Ricardo. What was her husband? I think he was like a musician, and Lucy wasn't she like she had a job working in what was it? She was a homemaker, right? Like a homemaker and a mom or something, right?
Yeah, I can't remember, but
it was a long time. I remember just it's hazy, very hazy.
Yeah, because I that's a good point because I think it did stem from that, but I think where like Manic was kind of going with it also. That's why I did want to ask him. So I asked him when he gets back is I think he's kind of referring to somewhat also like how I think because he referenced like females are kind of in a waiting capacity, like they're waiting for things to happen. Yeah, you know, like a guy to land in their lap and it lane and something like that, or come to them always. And I think that's where I see a lot of the delusion because, you know, it seems like they're always kind of in a waiting capacity. And even like, you know, now that they're going to school and stuff, like I know a lot of females just even working with them, they'll be like, damn, you know what? I was so locked into my career that I just like, you know, kind of, you know, missed out on opportunities and stuff. So I think we're dealing with a bunch of like, I'll say like newer dynamics in relationships. Cause like you were mentioning CLS, like, you know, people back in the day, it was just like, hey, you get married young, you know, it was like typical standard type stuff. So now everybody's just like everybody's grinding now to a certain degree.
Your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, it was
just work it out, even though you hate each other 10 years in.
And I also think like, you know, back in the day, people stayed in their like local areas. And I think now everybody done moved out so much where it's just like everybody's us all over the place where you just grew up with everybody. Like Jessie saying like, yeah, you dated your high school sweetheart, got married. You worked at the local like mill, mine, whatever factory and stuff.
Got a job as soon as you got out of high school, if it was a labor job, and just that was enough, like to just take care of a household, whatever. You know, it ain't things. I don't think it's really that easy nowadays to take care of a household on your own.
Nah.
Yeah, it's almost like I think I was looking at the stats. I mean, most people are both. I say genders are working, so I know like
it's definitely doable. It's doable to take care of your own stuff, and you know, but it just still takes a lot of effort. So you got.
It's much better when you're in like a 2-parent household.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Phil, let me go to Phil on this. Which gender do you think is more delusional, men or women?
I think it's honestly equal across the board, man, because you got some women out there who have expectation management and they only stick to one thing, but you got some men out there who are the same way. So I can't really say, you know, which direction. I know a bunch of men who like are expecting their women to have everything and to look a certain way, have a certain job, but then it's vice versa. You got women that want the same thing from a man. So I don't want to say it's, you know, leaning toward either direction. I think it's both sides.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
All right, CLS, did you want to tackle that again, or which gender do you think is more delusional, men or women?
I don't know. Could you say? I mean, maybe women are compared to men. Because I don't know, it's like when you look at society, it's like they expect men. It just seems like they have a higher expectation for women to be more successful now, versus back then it was like I guess they were just guess they were groomed to follow the lead of the man that they chose or whatever, like their partner. And
That's a good point.
He would lead the household, and he would be the breadwinner, and he would be the, you know, like Manny was saying, the breadwinner, the provider. You know what I mean? He'd cover all the bills and go to work every day, and then it was up to the wife to maintain the household and take care of the children and cook the meals, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but now I guess women are like more independent now, and they're more goal oriented. They're working, you know. So it's like 1 minute they're saying, okay, I don't need a man. I can maintain a certain lifestyle and be successful without having a boyfriend or a husband, and I'm perfectly fine with being single and just dating whenever I choose to. But then I don't know. I guess on the flip side, I don't know. Like what was it? I don't know. When you see all these movies about romance, not just the Disney stuff, but it seems like it's, I don't know, almost like the animated version of that stuff. You know what I mean? Those all those movies that cover like romance and I don't know, romantic comedies and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So I'm gonna circle back to that, but let me go back to Taj real quick because you made a good point, CLS. So Taj, which gender do you think is more delusional, men or women?
I'm gonna say both. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and side with Phil on this one. I was gonna dig deep in that, but I'm gonna do that another time. I got my peoples here, and they know how I get when it comes down to the
you know, no issue.
Yeah, yeah.
But let me. I like the point that CLS made as far as like I would say women are more delusional. And I think it is because of the expectations that's going on now. And we kind of like alluded to it earlier as far as like, you know, women are like getting more educated. They are making more money and stuff. And a lot of times what I hear females say is like, they want somebody equivalent to like where they're at. So, you know, say like a female's making like 140 or something like that. She wants, you know, her partner to be on that same, like, I'll say equal playing field or whatever, like the same range that she's at. And then I don't think like a lot of times a lot of people don't understand, like there's not a lot of people making that type of money anyways, whether it's men and women. So, you know, to kind of narrow down your dating pool to a segment of people that's making this amount of money, then, you know, they got to be like over 6 feet, you know, you add that in, you know, it's got to be, you know, what stylish, they got to humor. So it's like when you start going down the checklist, it's like 1% of people that meet that. And then so on the flip side, it's like that 1% guy or that you might kind of want might not even want you back, you know, because he's pretty much, if he's that prototype that got all these like checklists, he's pretty much meeting every woman's like prototype or checklist and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of options. So, and what I see the like delusion is like the difference with guys, like we kind of understand to a degree because we've been rejected like our whole life, where it's just like, you're not going to get everything. Yep. So it's just like, you might have preferences, but we're not married to those. We're like, okay, that was nice, but this is a good chick. So I'm good with that. Women, they stand fast to that like checklist. Like you don't get it. I'd rather be by myself and stuff. And I see a lot of times, like when they do get older, they were so married to that, like their preferences that they weren't budget on it. They're like, hey, I'm not settling.
Yeah.
And then, so I think that's where the delusion kicks in.
They always make like that, yo.
Go ahead, Tosh.
No, I was saying like not all women. You know what I mean? I'm always saying it because when they throw out their jabs at us guys, I make sure they know the same damn deal. You know, it ain't just all. I agree with
you. Yeah, no, it's not all of them, but it's a good. It's a nice little lump sum. Definitely ain't all, but it's a good portion. What was you about to say, CLS? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
No, I was just saying. Oh no, you're good. No, I'm just talking about they always make movies like that though. Did you see that movie Nobody's Fool? The Tyler Perry movie. With
it's been a while.
Tiffany Haddish, and I think Amari Hardwick was in it. And,
Tiffany Haddish played in a Tyler Perry film?
No. Have you seen the movie Nobody's Fool?
No,
I can't remember it.
That's her name, Tika Sumpter. Tika Sumpter from Ride Along. She was Kevin Hart's. Was it Kevin Hart's wife in that movie?
Oh, okay, yeah, I seen it. It's been a while.
Tika Sumpter. Yeah, she met a guy. Basically, I think what was it? She put together a checklist of all of the qualities she was looking for in a man. And I guess what happened was she met a guy online, like on a dating app or something like that. Tiffany Haddish was like her sister that was locked up. She got out, and basically she was trying to she was trying to, meet this guy, this, her list boyfriend, the guy.
Oh shit! I know what you're talking about.
And she was catfish. Remember, she thought she was catfish, and then she called like, yeah, remember?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But she had, but she was doing it. But it was like she wanted to pursue this dating app guy, but then also she ran into Amari Hardrick. That remember he owned a coffee shop, but he was like an ex-con. Remember? Yeah. Yeah. So, but it kind of fits the subject matter of what we're talking about, though. It really does.
Well, so she was like operating off a checklist and pretty much.
She was operating off his checklist, right? She was like, this was her ideal guy, like her perfect dude.
Straight at the end too, yo.
Yeah. And then you see that, so you saw the end of the movie. That I thought it was unrealistic. There's no way in hell I would have took her back, yo. No fucking way.
Nah, not at all.
Nah, no fucking way. Maybe the first time I would have let it slide. Remember, he heard her talking on the phone to like her friend, and she was talking, well, he's a girl, he been locked up before, all that type of stuff.
Right.
Maybe that part I would have let that slide, but afterwards, fuck that, man. Ain't no fucking way. No.
But see, that's why I'm saying, like, a lot of times these movies, man, it's like, I think the ends, because like, man, we was doing a review on one with Reese Witherspoon, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but the one with Ashton Kutcher and
Your Place or Mine.
Yeah, Your Place or Mine. And it's just like Ashton Kutcher was like this multi-millionaire guy.
Okay.
And they were like best friends. And then at the end of the movie where he was like looking at the video of his house because it like popped up and some dude hooked up with her, but he ended up getting back with her after all this stuff. I'm just like, man, come on, man. Like,
can I add on to what you just said? Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Remember when Ashton Kutcher did that movie with Brittany Murphy? Was it Just Married? Now that movie was realistic. I thought that was realistic. Remember, she came from. Yeah, I think it was Just Married, wasn't it? Just Married?
Yeah, it was Just Married.
Yeah, because she was. Remember, her parents had money. She came from a wealthy background, and Ashton Kutcher, his dad was like, he was like an average Joe. You know what I'm saying? I think he was.
Oh yeah, see, that one was more realistic.
That one was more realistic. Even the ending, I mean, how it played out was all realistic. So I like that one. That's one of my favorite by him. That's very
I do think they need to start making more movies with realistic. What was the one with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston? That one was pretty realistic. With it. They were like they divided the house because they was arguing the whole time.
Yeah, the breakup. So the breakup.
Yeah, the breakup. So yeah, they need to start making more movies like.
Yeah, like that was realistic. Yeah, that one too. Yep, good one. Good flick. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just getting back to the like. So I do think the expectations is what makes them a little more delusional. I do think guys are delusional too, but I just think like women married to that checklist, like is like, I'm not budging off of this whatsoever. And then, like I said, it's not like they almost understand like the guy that they looking for to meet all those metrics. Like I said, height, humor, style, income is damn near like in the 1%. And it's just like they don't understand. One thing I see with females is like they don't understand like there's competition, where I think guys, we understand like, hey, if I want this prototype of a female and every guy wants her, like I got to like pursue that a little bit. And I think females are just like, nope, he needs to come to me, he's got to talk to me. And it's just like they don't understand like this guy's probably just like passing by, he might not, so they would never shoot their shot. So I think that's what keeps them in that place of delusion, where guys, we're just like, you know what, if I see somebody I like, I gotta jump on that because some other dude's gonna be pursuing it or gonna holler at her or whatever. So we're just dealt with that rejection so much that we're kind of out of that delusion phase a little bit.
Yeah, and before we move on, I wanted to go back to CLS's point, which it was really good. It wasn't too long ago when women didn't have rights and they weren't allowed to work, they weren't allowed to have bank accounts, they weren't allowed to do so many things. So they actually had to depend on a guy, not just to be the protector, provider. Like it was how society was set up. And I think that's it makes it a little bit more challenging for women because that's the archetype that they held for so long. So now that they have options, it's like they have to navigate through being in that traditional role where things really just make sense from how society has pushed this narrative versus their own individual choices. And I don't think anybody wants to like sit on their ass and like allow everybody to dictate or society dictate how they move. So it's like, you add feminism in there and it's just like empowerment. It's a lot of mixed signals because some women are happy, with the stay at home, take care of the kids, and cook clean. Not really have much of a say in things, but you know, how do you go about doing that, right? Because society is not really built for one person to work and be prosperous. So there's just a lot going on. So I think that opens up the delusion, and that's, you know, why they're a little bit more delusional, because our role has really never changed.
That's a good point. So it might not even really be delusion. It's just like trying to figure this shit out, like these new dynamics.
Yeah.
You say,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
No, because I like what you said. Yeah, because I never thought about it like that, where it's just like, yeah, because we've been pretty static with our roles, but
Yeah.
for them to change, and you know, like they do want some input, because that's a good point. It's like, shit, if I'm contributing, I do want like
Yeah,
to
I
make
wanna
sure
say-
that this thing is heading in the right direction, so I can see what they give some of that pushback. That makes sense. But all right, let me go to the next question. So do you guys think that people will ever stop being delusional, or do you just think this is a kind of like a natural progression in life? Like you just kind of start off delusional and then you end up like kind of gaining more knowledge and stuff, and you become more realistic.
I wouldn't necessarily say for any of it it's a delusion. The way I would word it is, if you're jumping out there naked, everything is a learning experience. You know what I mean? You're gonna step on some shit. You're gonna get scrapes and bruises. You know what I mean? Nobody's out here perfect. They're not gonna ever be perfect. So, and this is just so that way nobody takes offense to whoever's watching this. Don't take offense to how they're moving out here. Everybody's gonna have their preference. You know what I mean? But real talk. You know, everybody's gonna have their preference, you know, because this is also how you create mental illness. Everybody's feeling like they gotta be this, be that, you know what I mean? Because nobody cares. They'll say things like fuck them and all that other stuff. Don't say fuck them. It's not something they can control. It could be how they
I don't care.
All right, listen, man. Like it could be, you never know their situation as to why they are the way they are. You know, everybody has a story. You know, so yeah, they're gonna go based off what they see in the household, what they don't see in the household, you know. So it's more so like a learning curve until you finally grasp it. And then once you change up a few things after that learning experience, then you'll start to gain other things coming into your life that's more positive and will have a more positive effect to then letting you know, hey, I'm getting a step closer to then you're getting exactly what you want at the end of the day. So it's not really a delusion. It's just a learning curve for everybody. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. I'm one of them. You know, I take everything as learning experience. Life is a gift. You know what I mean? I don't intend on wasting it, you know, but everything that happens, good or bad, I learn from that shit. I don't say it's a delusion, you know, but I take everything that I had put my own self through with the decisions that I've made and how I viewed things, and I'm molding it into something that works out for me in the long run. You know, and for that, you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable spot. So, no, you're not delusional. You know, you're not crazy. You're just learning, regardless of your age. You're just learning. You ain't there yet. It's all right.
I like what you said, man, because like I said, at first I was like, yeah, people are delusional, but kind of hearing what you like with first Manic before he became an asshole was saying, and then I like what you were saying, Taj, where you know you was breaking it down, because it is like a lot of process. It's like, man, when you're young, man, you're just gonna, like you said, you're gonna have to have that growth. But one thing I would say to people, because it kind of piggybacks off of like what you're saying, is just like I think when you set too high and I'll say somewhat unrealistic expectations, because I think sometimes people just need to understand a preference need to be a preference. Should it be static? It's just like, hey, you know what? I do want this, but I do need to look for like good qualities and good people, and I might not get everything. And I think if people like set their mind, you know, they won't have like, you know, like you were saying, the mental conditions and stuff like that. Because I think sometimes like we beat ourselves up, like you said, it forces you to try to live up to the standard too, instead of kind of being yourself. Like definitely try to like have some growth, develop yourself. But it's just like, if you're living to these unrealistic expectations, this is going to burn you out. You know, you're going to burn out other people, because it's just like, if you have that list, it's just like you're going to drive people away, because, you know, you're always going to be in a place where, you know, you're thinking they're coming up short or something. You're nitpicking. So yeah, no, I like what you said, Todd. Jessie, do you think people will ever stop being delusional, or you want to add on to what we were just saying? I think you're on mute, Jessie. You might just have to disconnect and come back in, Jessie, because yeah, we still can't hear it.
Yeah.
But all right, I'll go ahead. I'll go to Phil on this one. So do you think we'll ever stop being delusional, or you think is that just like part of us?
I'm gonna piggyback off of what Tosh said, because honestly, I think it comes with age. As we're younger, you're learning, and you're only way you're gonna like learn from some shit is you make a mistake. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who can just go through life never making a mistake, but that's not the norm. I have failed many times in my life to get to where I am, and I promise you, all the things that I did fail on, I'm never gonna fail again. So it's not something I would say delusional. I really do think it's like ignorance. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And if you actually want to get better at something, you got to go seek knowledge. You got to experience things. You got to go through what it's like to struggle in school and have no fucking money and stressed up and stay out all night, or go through being in the military and being overseas and missing your freaking family to come back and be like, now I know what life is like, and I know what a struggle is. And now I can start moving on from this point. Now I can just learn from everything that I failed on and make myself a better person. So hats off to Taj. She said that shit.
Yeah, that was good, Taj. Jessie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You
were saying a lot, man. I knew you was like cooking over there. That's why I was like, man, what's up with Jessie?
I'm gonna agree with Taj, because it's really
we do it too much. Tylee agreeing with Taj, man. I might have to give him some smoke. Give him some smoke. CLS. No, I'm joking.
Hey, look, I gotta give credit where credit is due, because man, the truth is nobody is delusional in the way they're operating their relationships, even with the expectations, because their expectations are what they are. Like, you can have your expectations, if they don't get met, but relationships are a growing process of constantly evaluating and learning and experiencing and looking at things in a different perspective. So I do agree with Taj on that.
Yeah, I agree with him too.
Let me ask you guys, have you guys ever been delusional when it came to like relationships?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Who hasn't?
Absolutely. I think that's
what would you guys say from a men's perspective or standpoint? What was the biggest delusion?
We have I think we have unrealistic goals when it comes to sex. Men do. And you can blame that on pornography. Because
that's a good point.
When men watch porn, you know what I'm saying? When men watch porn, you have these unrealistic goals. You think that every woman is going to be whatever your preference is in the bedroom. You don't think, okay, I can go out and find a woman who's going to try to fulfill every single fantasy that whatever you're into.
I get that. Yeah.
But it's unrealistic. It's not the woman. It's a lot of women out there that want to do half the stuff you might see in a movie or a flick.
Good point.
So I wonder, what are your thoughts on common entity, on how often is men using that as a example? Like how many times, like how often is that, like that range between healthy and unhealthy? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, as far as like
Damn.
Oh,
you saying how common is it, or
how common is that? You mean?
Yeah.
I think, and honestly, I'll say about like 98% of guys want to play some shit up.
Yeah.
It's not gonna lie. I tried to do the pizza delivery scene, and my wife shot that shit down. I was like, "Look, I'm gonna order this pizza," and I was like, "You got to pay, act like you don't have all the money." And then she handed me some shorted money, and I got mad at her. I'm like, "Man, how you can only have like half the money?" So we messed the scene up. So yeah, it's definitely some.
It never really goes down like how it does.
It doesn't, man.
Your head at all.
But now it's like if you meet someone on a dating site, dating app, then you would kind of pick her brain a little bit to kind of get an idea of what she's into.
Oh yeah. So what's some line of questioning?
Teaching them shit.
How would you do that line of question? I'm kind of interested because I ain't been dating for like 20 years, man. So how would you like? You ask her about the spider monkey. So what would be the line of question? Yeah, I'm asking you, CLS. Like,
you're talking. Okay, you said I thought you were talking.
I'm saying, like, how would you kind of like ask some questions about that? That's a good point.
I would ask them about their previous partners and ask them what they did with past and what they like to. I don't know, like if they're in.
I don't know about what their previous partners. Bro.
No, you know what I mean. Like I don't
know. You asking about
that? No.
About what they did with their
that's too much. Not like that. No, not like that.
I'm gonna CLS. I'll ask, damn it.
Listen. Hold on. Like you ask them how many, like ask them what their number is, like how many people they've been with.
Wow. Bro, that's so high school though.
Yeah, because you can get an idea of what they're open to by the number of partners they've been with. Think about it. So like this. Hold on.
He's on to something. Go ahead, CLS.
Let me see what you're talking.
Let me squeeze this in right there. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example because I dated a girl like this before. I dated a girl once when she was in high school. She was with a dude from middle school, high school, all the way through college. So now she's like in her late 20s. She's only been with one dude. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about
middle school, bro.
Wise? You want to know, like, you're asking for like experience wise? Is that what
experience wise? Yes, experience is important. Think about it. I do see with her. She never had a partner to introduce her to anything other than the norm.
Right. Okay.
You were one dude for like damn near 20 years. What is that one dude going to teach you? One dude. That's only one.
The jerk knows everything. God damn it.
So I'm trying to tell you. Let me just say this one thing. So by the time she got to my black ass, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying she only had like she'd only had sex with 2 men her whole life. And she's like, you know, damn near like in her late 20s. She's only been with 2 dudes. By the time she got with me, man, she thought I had the best dick since sliced bread. Because she only had 2 penises before mine.
She was definitely neglected.
Yeah, she told me this dude will only have sex with her like once a month. So to her, that shit was normal to her. He normalized that shit.
Not equate a body count to a person's freakiness, bro. You cannot. I'm sorry.
You could a little, man, because he does.
She didn't have nobody. How you can think about it? I'm just saying.
Let's say you got a guy who's married, right? Been with his wife for 15 plus years. How do you know they're not experimenting shit and they're doing everything throughout their marriage? And once she leaves that marriage, she's giving the same thing everybody else. You can still learn shit, but not have a high ass body count. I know girls who got like
true.
bodies, but they're really like that.
I agree, but the dude she was with, he wasn't. He didn't have a high sex drive, so he wasn't really trying to experiment and do different things in the bedroom, try to spice things up. He was just fucking boring.
You can't
what she was telling me.
Some. You can't say all. You can say some.
Some. He was born. She told me that he was born, but she was with this nigga for like damn near 20 years.
He was born.
He was born. She didn't have a man in her life to introduce her to new things. So to her, it was just like, well, I don't know what I like because I never experimented and did any of these things that you might see in these flicks. She never did none of that stuff, so she don't know what she like.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Coming from.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. You know, you don't know what you're gonna like until you experiment. You have to try it first. You know what I'm saying? Just like I don't know. I know it's like it's just like if you say you're addicted to something. You know what I'm saying? How can you be addicted to something that you never even tried?
I got you.
Point.
You can't be addicted to sex. No more than you addicted.
So you were saying mainly like looking into the experience level and the history kind of. Nah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't feel comfortable messing with somebody who hasn't had that much experience either.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't marry. Like I'm gonna go out and marry a virgin. Nope.
Yeah,
nope.
I would.
No.
And now you got to groom. So you got to groom her and teach. Huh?
Yeah,
everything.
I would.
But you got to groom her and teach everything though.
That's cool.
Yeah, I ain't got. I'm too old for that shit.
Whatever. Hey, whatever.
There's two.
And how do you know? And think about it, dude. But how do you know she's not gonna get bored?
As long as she's like at a certain age and point in her life, you know, like she's emotionally, mentally, all that stable. You know, like that's I think that would be like every guy's dream.
Oh, if she was a virgin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, that would
not
be
me, man.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if she's bored? What are you gonna do when she gets bored with your penis? You want to try a new penis? Exactly. How do you,
choice of
what
words,
you gonna do
bro.
when you get bored with
I
your dick?
swear.
And you're like, I want to try some new dick.
If she want, what you gonna do about it? You got no choice. Let her go. Hey, what are you supposed to do? I don't. I'm tired of your dick. I want another dick.
Yeah, she will try something
Okay.
else.
I'm just mad.
You gonna be like Adam 20, be like Adam 22. You're stuck.
No, I'm just saying, man. At this point in my life, man, I'm. Oh, my bad, Jesse.
Oh yeah, you just gotta pick up and move on, man. Shit.
Yeah, I feel you, but
man.
Just at this phase of my life, man, I'm done with the like teaching and training. Like, you gotta come with the jerk ready. Like, I ain't got time for it.
Yeah, I'm
not saying you gotta have a super high body count, but you gotta be a veteran a little bit.
But yeah, it doesn't matter.
I ain't got time for it.
Yeah, like at least have at least 4 or 5 penises on your belt or something. You know what I mean? Even 10, I'm cool with keeping with 10 dudes. I don't care. I mean, if she got some experience, all right. Well, maybe I can get her. You can talk.
We're gonna have a topic on this. I'm curious about that, but I'm gonna keep. Yeah, body count. We're gonna have a body count subject. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna dive deep on that one.
You talking about everybody body count or just
not our shit.
Not ours.
Talk about what you're willing to accept. Yeah, some things you gotta take to the grave, Playboy. Yeah. Todd was like, "Yo, listen."
I'm putting up will numbers.
So, Manic Genius, I was asking everybody, was there ever a time where you were delusional?
Oh yeah, all the time.
What were some like male things that you think we're delusional about?
You kind of covered it, man. Thinking that you can just have it all with a woman, like I'm a guy. I'm really attracted to smart women because I like really deep intellectual conversations. So it's like I was delusional in the sense that thinking I can have absolutely it all, like a smart woman, makes good money, believes in reciprocity, funny, and like
this Negro
caring.
So funny.
Yeah, like funny and like caring and like nurturing, and beautiful. Like beautiful is a big thing in there.
You don't want Princess Fiona?
So Princess Fiona. Hey, Princess Fiona kind of thick. I might give it a.
But you said beautiful, funny, smart.
Yeah, beautiful. Makes good money. Has like a decent professional job. But
you want a lot out here.
Yeah. So that's the part where I was delusional. So it's like that just doesn't exist. And I know that what I just said seems like, oh, there's probably women watching this like, oh, I fit that. I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm beautiful. It's like, no, all the combination of all that, it rarely exists. But when it does exist, those women are so highly sought after that they don't reciprocate anything because they're in a constant state of like choosing and vetting and so it just makes them like selfish because they're just thinking like what benefits me.
So you think they get pampered a lot?
Yeah. So it contradicts. So it's like when a woman is so beautiful and she knows it, because it's one thing to like, there's plenty of guys who get beautiful women and they're married, they have beautiful wives and their wives are real cool with them. But those are guys that kind of get their women like early, like maybe it was the high school sweetheart and she didn't really get a chance to get out there. But even then, it still ends up being bad because she hasn't got a chance to really experience the hardships of life because she's only been with her high school sweetheart. So this guy could be damn near Superman, and she's going to take him for granted. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's like it's a lose-lose situation. So I was delusional in the sense thinking that I can have like all of it. So you have to give something up. And I choose personally to give up on the beauty element. That's the piece that I like, take down on. It's like, hey, you don't got to be a dime. You just have to be like attractive enough for me. Like, yeah, you got to meet a certain threshold because I think the other aspects. Are you jumping off my couch? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, handle your business.
You know, for me, I don't care if you're a dime or not, but you better be taking care of them feet, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm big on that. I don't know why. But
Oh, for real? You're a foot guy? I'm like, man, put some socks on. What was it?
You supposed to get the Manny and the Petty together, right? The Manny and
bro, my hands can't be looking better than yours, man.
Yeah, I can't be with no chick with no rugged ass feet.
No.
But he just.
I'm a feet guy too. Gotta have a good feet, pretty feet.
But he just described the plot to that Tyler Perry movie Temptations.
You talking about the one with the big bald-headed dude?
Yeah, with Lance Gross. You remember? And was it Journey Smollett?
You were talking about that last episode.
Journey Smollett. Journey Smollett. Yeah, because she took her good husband for granted.
Yeah.
You remember?
Oh, that's the one where she caught the monster.
Yep. By Harley.
Yeah.
Dude with the bald head on. Yeah, him. Yep. She took him for granted.
No, she did.
She was bored. She was bored with him. But it was kind of like what you were saying too, though. She was his first everything.
Yep. Since they were like kids, all the way through high school, they grew up in church together. He was all she knew.
All she knew. She got the taste of the bad life, and she went haywire after that.
Yeah, I love that like ending scene where she had to go to his little pharmacy to get that like medicine. He was like, dodged the bullet.
I mean, he took her for granted too, though. There's some wrongdoing on his side too. He kept forgetting her birthday for I think 2 or 3 years. He forgot her birthday and shit. So that just a lot of little stuff.
Yeah, damn.
He did. He forgot her birthday, and then I don't know. He didn't do enough to spice the marriage up, to spice things up. You know what I mean?
All right.
But did she communicate that she needed things spiced up? Did she do a proper job of communicating that?
No, she didn't, man. That's a great observation.
But she didn't know she wanted that shit until she saw what the bad side was like.
Right.
Had she not met that nigga, it wouldn't have turned out that way.
Oh yeah, with the new guy. Yeah, she never experienced that before. And they were from a small town too. You know what I mean? And then they moved to this big city. You know what I mean? Yeah.
She saw the materialistic side. That's what happened with that movie.
Huh?
My man had on the Learjet.
Yeah. He was rich. Yeah, he was rich and successful, and they were traveling. Yeah.
But all right, we'll go ahead and jump into the next topic. Nah, this was a great discussion. Taj was cooking on that one. I'm definitely gonna have to clip some of those out. Jessie too. So all right, the next topic we're gonna be talking about the Diddy and Cassie lawsuit. So, I sent everybody the clip. I don't know if y'all had time to look at the story. I know it's been on the YouTube playing out, and all on the news. Mm-hmm. What was you saying, Tosh?
I thought her name was Casey.
No, it's Cassie. It's Cassie.
Cassie.
Yeah,
Cassie.
Yeah, you had me nervous. I'm like, damn, I've been saying it wrong all the time. I couldn't tell you.
No, it's Cassie. It's Cassie. I think her hit record though.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, her hit record was a while ago.
It was a while ago. She only had that one joint though. I know she had one album. I think she had one album, one CD. I remember it came out back in the day.
But just to give y'all some background on them, I think they were dating for what, about 10, 11 years?
10 years, 11, a little over 10 years.
Yeah. And I actually went through the lawsuit paperwork. I mean, man, they had timelines built into that thing. So she was pretty much the gist of the, lawsuit that she filed was, Diddy was making her do these freak offs. That's what he would call them, where they would go to hotels and he'll make her get male escorts so she would end up sleeping with them and stuff like that. Then anytime she would want to leave the relationship, I guess he'll send people to come lure her back in and stuff. So she was saying, I guess he was assaulting her. And then also there was intimidation and stuff. There was a piece I was just looking at the other day where he mentioned that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car or something like that. So, she was pretty much saying she was scared to leave Diddy because, the power and the pull that he had and stuff like that, especially with her being, I guess, younger, 19 when they met up. That's how old she was, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was all that mentioned in the lawsuit. So I just wanted to get your guys' take on, did you believe the allegations? And I'll start with CLS first on this. Look at CLS.
Oh yeah,
he nodded off. You believe him?
You didn't hear all those stories about dude, man. He been doing this thing for a minute.
He a grimy ass dude, though.
Yeah,
he really is.
For a minute, man. And just and he has multiple baby moms and all that stuff. Yeah, I think he got like 3 baby mamas. I think 3. Is it 3 or 2?
Yeah, he's got a few. So let me go around. Phil, did you believe the allegations?
Hell yeah, I believe him. Diddy's a fucking dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
The moment he took everything from 112, I was like, "Yep, fuck this."
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Did you believe the allegations?
No, I didn't believe him. I believe she was money hungry, and P Diddy is a guy with a lot of money.
So you say pretty much she came for that paper.
Oh yeah, she saw that he was getting in trouble with something.
All right, I'll go ahead and give my take. I think it was. I think the freak offs and stuff happened. I don't think it happened to the extreme like she was saying.
Yeah.
So I definitely think like he had some wrongdoing and stuff, but also do kind of agree with Manic too. I think she did was coming for that bread a little bit. You know, knew what she could get involved with. Yeah. Let me get Jesse's take on this real quick, and we could like dissect that a little bit. So Jesse, we're talking about the Diddy and Cassie lawsuit. I said Cassidy.
Hello? Oh yeah. So yeah. So
do you believe the allegations?
I'm gonna say yes because Diddy is a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. Straight up, like dude's character has been on display through his actions, you know, over the years in his music career, and it's been on full display. So to say that like this is a surprise, nah, it's not a surprise. It's unfortunate, and like I honestly wish Cassie all the healing in the world because like domestic violence is not okay. I don't give a fuck on what level it is, but like putting your hands on a woman, like to hear that shit is triggering. So I would say like nah. If somebody like Diddy come out and like this, yeah, I believe it, and I would say that she didn't get nowhere near enough to like really like just put a Band-Aid on and heal the wound. Like it's probably, hey, look, it'll make a nice pillow, but like realistically, like the emotional trauma, like is a lifetime journey to heal. So from something like that.
Okay, so y'all pretty much just think like he's guilty because like the pattern he kind of created throughout his life, you know, it kind of y'all saying it ties into his character from y'all perspective.
So Drake, you asked a lot of questions, but I'm gonna ask you one on some real shit.
Okay, let's go.
You have you know how fucking scandalous Diddy has been all his fucking life.
Absolutely.
All the rumors that have came out from multiple people about how he's like, you don't think that this would even be slightly close to true after all of that shit?
No, I think he did like the acts. I don't know if they were to the extreme like she was saying, because like 11 years you're with somebody, and then you know like when you do file the lawsuit, because like my thing is if somebody crossed the lines, man, I'm going the legal route. You know what I'm saying? It'll be almost like I don't care about the money. You know, I just.
But this is
I'm gonna air it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't care about the money either.
He was very, very young in that situation. So would 19-year-old Jerk have the same mentality that you have right now?
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't get with nobody because of money like that. That's what I'm saying. Because I mean, we all know right from wrong, and I just think like, don't get me wrong, like I think Diddy's a piece of shit, you know. So I'm not even avoiding him of it. But I think sometimes like, I think a lot of times we look at these things like one-sided. Because I was breaking it down to somebody. I think like Diddy was trying to take advantage of a younger female. Because I would never mess with a younger female like that. But I also think like females that do target guys that are older, they know what is going on. Like, hey, here's a sucker, you know, so they know how to spot dudes and, you know, a guy that's into that freaky shit. I think a lot of females are smart enough to realize like, okay, this dude is chasing his desires. I could trap him up and I could clean him up. And so I think they kind of go with each other. You know, it's just like those type of people with that mindset kind of attract each other. Because this is like, you know, if Diddy had all these like females and stuff like that, like CLS was talking about, it's just like, you know, if I'm a female, I'd be like, yeah, he might be famous, but I'm not messing with that shit, you know. And I think a lot of females will look at it like that, where some females is like, you know what? I'm materialistic. He's superficial. So you see what I'm saying? It's like the yin and the yang kind of coming together. It's just like they're both coming together for the wrong reasons and shit. So that's why I'm saying I think, you know, he's more at fault. I would say that. But I mean, there's some wrongdoing to go for somebody just for their resources. That's not better, you know.
And he knew.
And I was just gonna say, I wasn't saying that, you know, I don't believe any of it. I think definitely some of the stuff happened, or, you know, I don't think she would just make it all up. But like you said, the jerk, it's like people, you know, you can't have everything. You can't sit up here and say, you know, and date a sucker or think you're dating a sucker or, you know, getting this crazy benefit of like, hey, this guy's, you know, boosting my career, doing all this stuff. All I gotta do is listen to him, and then when things don't work out the way you want, you thought they were going to work out, then you run back and say, oh, well, he did this, he wasn't nice to me, or he did this to me. And it's just like, you know, it's when people have relationships and then the relationships go bad and they choose to air out their relationships through the court system to get money, I just think it's very distasteful. Especially if there wasn't like, I'm like Jessie, I don't believe in any type of domestic violence. Like, I think that's completely unacceptable. But if there's just like matters of like weird sexual acts and stuff like that, that's between y'all. You were okay with it when it was happening. You didn't leave immediately after. It's not like, hey, he did this weird thing to me and I had to leave him after that. And then that was the reason for our breakup. Nah, he did all that stuff to you. You stayed with him. And then eventually, when it wasn't panning out the way you expected it to pan out, you leave. And then you wait all these years and then turn around and you see that he's in hot water with the whole like Tupac stuff. And then now you're like, oh, dang, he might go away for good. Let me attack him now while he still has his bread.
Let me counter you, man. I'm gonna counter you on this. From a woman's perspective, how do you know that this nigga was not manipulating her, threatening her, all these different things to keep her in a situation? You're giving so much credit to Diddy in the sense that because he's going through some shit, she probably looked at this, oh my God, I finally have an opportunity to say something where he can no longer hold me the fuck down or try to do anything to me because now the spotlight's on him. So now she can get away from this shit using what's going on as a fucking way out.
Let me counter that real quick.
They did say he was threatening her family.
Go ahead, counter that.
Well, if he's threatening her, I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Just think about it like this. When people like say they snitch on like mafia or something like that, they go into hiding, they change their name, they off the grid. If I'm like, you know, say like I whatever mafia, whatever, and I'm like telling on them, I'm not gonna come out and like sue them for like 30 million. Like if they were that dangerous, you know what I'm saying? So that'll kind of like line up with that. You see what I'm saying? So typically if you are like nervous, you know, you would probably go to the like authorities and stuff like that. You want to do like I would say a civil lawsuit. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't think there's too much fear based in that, and you're just trying to hit the pockets.
Yeah. And there was an update on the situation.
Good point.
Yeah, there was actually an update on the situation where she dropped all her charges because they settled it out of court, meaning Diddy paid her a certain amount of money, and she was like, hey, okay, cool. All that shit that you did to me is not that important. I'll take this cash. So, I mean, that just shows you who her character really is.
No, I mean, I do believe there was some stuff, but I don't like he said. I mean, once you kind of settle quick, you know, and like I said, you didn't want to take the like legal because you know me, I would feel like there's a responsibility for me to prevent this from happening to somebody else. So that's what I'm saying. Or if I did think somebody was like, you know, that crazy and stuff, I'm probably just gonna be like, look, I'm going to the law. I'm damn the money and stuff like that. You know, I wouldn't be doing just
settled. He could have also sold to get himself out of some shit. So you know how fucking serious he was. So he's like, let me go ahead and get this shot the way real quick. So there's no more light.
Oh no, man! That's why I know he did some of this held true because like the way she was mapping it out. Like if you look at the things, like the acts did happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, you don't know if they're consensual and stuff like that. Like it sounded like she was like when she was even writing up the stuff, she was like, he made me go look for the male escorts and stuff. So I mean, I think like a lot of stuff was gonna come out because I think some like the escorts would have probably turned up and gave some details. So that's why I think like Diddy was like, let me settle out, because he did do some shit. So don't like, I'm not trying to take up from him. I just, you know, me personally, and I don't, like I said, I've never been in them shoes either. So you do got a good point, Phil. Like people react different. So I mean, I would never know, but so she could have just been like, let me just like hit his pockets. Maybe that's my way to get back. So, you know, that could be an aspect of it too.
There's some more stuff about to come out about him.
Yeah. Because maybe she's like, hey, I'll be the person to shine the light on it. So I never thought about it like that. So yeah, you might be right.
She could have also been manipulated to the point where she was like, so like in a freeze, traumatic response that like, speaking up was like not even something on the menu for her. Like even though like I think a lot your point earlier from her like getting her intentions for getting in the relationship with Diddy and even agreeing to all this stuff is like that's what she had to do. Like kind of like sold her soul to the devil type thing, and she probably didn't speak up in none of those scenarios and just went along with everything because it was part of the life. But then. Fast forward, you know, going through the court motions, like I see where the air is taken out of her argument for how much it affected her. You know, like we weren't there, so realistically, like none of us know for sure one way or the other. But if it did happen, I could see why she wouldn't speak up.
Yeah, because I definitely, man, I stuff like this, I think there needs to be a light shine on it. Because I don't, you know, typically it's like I don't want them people to create a pattern, keep doing it to people. Because like I forgot when I was watching the guy Epstein, I was looking at the Netflix documentary, and then there was a couple ladies that like reported it early, but they were like ignored and stuff. So if people would have paid attention, then it would have stopped that. So I do agree. I do hope people do report stuff, but I do understand there is that fear. Because I mean, looking at it, it's just like, hey, if he's doing all that stuff, he's involved in all that other stuff. I can see why she could have that fear, but typically, like people that are fearful ain't filing civil lawsuits and shit. So that's what kind of lost me about the whole thing.
So I know you've known someone in your life that has stayed with a person who was completely horrible for them, beating their ass, taking all their money, but like for some reason that nobody else understands, they're still in that and it takes for something crazy extreme to happen for them to leave. So I know you know somebody who's like that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it does happen. You know, that's what I'm saying. I can't argue with that point. So I would never say that because like I do understand people have like some fear or some attachment that does go on. You know, so yeah, I don't know how to explain that because like I said, I have known people that have been in those situations and stuff. And
I think there's a term for it. I think there's a term for it, like people that are abused get identified, like they get really attached.
It's like Stockholm syndrome or something like that. Like
it's something. It's called something. I'll have to do some research to figure it out, find out what that is. But like they have some type of like real life attachment to their abuser, and they don't want their abuser to hurt, so they don't say nothing.
Yeah. No, it's deep. This stuff is deep, and I think people do got to have these conversations because, like I said, you know, when you do, like, I like Phil pushing back because it did forced me to think about some things and stuff like that. So I think we do got to be open about it. But yeah, overall, I think like guys that's why I always tell men, man, stop chasing your desires, man. Like, there's responsibility that comes with being an adult. That's why, like, I always get pushback when dudes be like, I would mess with a younger chick. I'm like, nah, man, because you know they do have their mind not be fully developed at that point. So it's just like, man, you do gotta like, you know, treat them a little different. And then also it's just like, man, you can't always like live out your desires. And it kind of ties into the topic of delusion. It's just like, I like what CLS was saying about the porn shit. It's just like, hey, you can't have that expectation that everybody's going to go through like all that stuff or wants to do it and stuff. So it's just like, man, you do got to kind of like control yourself. And just even now, you know, like you think about the money that he probably had to pay out. It's just like, man, you could have, I mean, he's already wealthy, but it's just like, man, you could have gave that to like charity, you know, scholarships to people. So it's like when you start looking at the dumb stuff and the situations you put yourself into, man, it's just, you know, hopefully Diddy grow the hell up, you know, and stays out of this type of stuff.
He knew who he could do that to.
He's not going to. Diddy ain't about to.
Yeah, I do agree with you, CLS. Yeah, a lot of times that's why they do like
pick up, got with a younger woman. Because remember J-Lo never went back to him. Remember he was dating her, and then
after that club shooting, she was like, I'm out of here. This is too much.
She never went back to him, even after he started making those I Miss J-Lo records. Remember?
He was dancing with Usher and shit.
Yeah.
And you got something on your mouth, Manic. You good now? You was over there killing whatever you was eating. Yeah, he made what like I Miss You, J-Lo. There was like 3 parts to that one, right? With Usher. It was like one with Loon, one with Usher.
Yeah, I Need a Girl. It was I Need a Girl. He did the remix. He said, remember 50? But 50 was roasting him back then. He said, nigga, stop making all these I Miss J-Lo records, nigga. He roasting them now. You see his IG. He's still trolling them right now. It's funny as hell. Yeah.
No, but that's what I was saying earlier. I think like they know who to target because, like I said, he's a trick. So when tricks, they know who to flash the money to and stuff like that. But also on the flip side, like I said, if women are a little smarter, they're like, man, I'm gonna clean this guy out because he flashed that money. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times they just intersect because they going for each other for the wrong reasons and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I do think in this case, maybe it spiraled too far out of control. So do you think this is kind of karma getting back at Diddy though? I forgot who I was talking to about that. Maybe it was you, CLS, or Manic. We was talking about it, but just how he been kind of reckless his whole life and always caught up in some stuff. You think this is kind of getting back at him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. He said he screwed over a lot of people. As an artist.
I think he made a deal with the devil, and devil's coming for his ass. Be real.
There you go.
That man's whole life has just been crazy. I'm like,
especially these past couple of years, man. I'm like, damn.
I'm like, okay, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's why I do kind of believe some of the stuff. Like I said, I that her settling that quick, kind of threw everything off. It took like Jessie was saying, some of the argument away, but just the way like he's getting pulled into everything and all this stuff's kind of getting revealed and how he just been maneuvering for like shit. It's been like damn 30 years now.
Like 30
years. He been like caught to like
Yeah.
controversy. So it's just like dude's reckless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's definitely a reckless individual.
But yeah, it bothered me when I woke up. I was telling you, it bothered me when I woke up the next day and they said that she settled. I said, dude, it was barely 24 hours.
Yeah.
And if you read her quote, like I read a news report, and then the report it said that she wanted to be the voice for all of the women that live in silence. You know what I mean? They don't have her platform to speak and you know what I mean, be heard like her.
And she took that money.
Right. So it had to be a lot, man. It had to be a lot. He offered her 8 figures before. It had to be a lot, dude. Like a lot. I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, she got paid.
She got it was 200 million, 100 million, whatever it was, man. I don't know. It had to be. It's a lot.
Well, I know in a lawsuit she was asking for like 30 million. So I mean,
she must have got more than that, then, bro. She had to get more than that. Come on, man. 24 hours like that. Damn. Now she ain't saying shit. I don't think.
Yeah,
nah. She done. She was like, look, I'm out. Like,
probably fucking a beach in Hawaii or some fucking wearing up. All we know.
Yeah, nothing.
That's out of there.
But all right, man. We could. Any anything else anybody wanted to chime in on this? Manic, I think he was like trying to chime in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, somebody told me that Diddy forgot to pay the Illuminati this month. That's why this all happening.
So they coming back. They're like, all right, man, you want to play around? We just keeping you safe. You better like kick that bread off.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
Something to do with Pac and Biggie, bro. I ain't gonna front.
Hmm?
I think he played a big role as far as the death of Pac and Biggie too.
I think he got Biggie killed and took his girl.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm for real. I think he had a big part in that. Seriously, how you not gonna be after celebrating the album drop? How you not gonna be in the same vehicle with your artist?
He definitely took all the profits. He
did.
Took a lot of profits. He owned all of Biggie's
catalog
music.
His catalog, yeah.
Everything.
It was under bad.
He owned everything. The rights to everything. No way these people didn't investigate this man and come up with something.
I think it was just his actions, maybe. I don't think he would. He did that, but I just think like some of the stuff they set in motion, you know, caused like everybody to kind of get like on that warpath type thing. You know, the whole East and West. So I think it was a lot of that played into it.
I don't know, man. There was a time where him and Pop was going at it, and like during that whole when Pop was in the middle of going through that rape case, he kept Biggie away from him. I mean, there's a lot of speculation saying he hired somebody, you know, put a hit out on Pop.
Yeah,
it's just because I mean the dudes that like got at Pac. I mean that was some local LA. Oh, go ahead.
I would say you could watch the night when he passed. Like he got into a fight at the casino. It shows him like
that's what
literally
I'm saying.
fighting the dudes who end up being responsible for his death. So it's just like it's cause and effect.
Yeah.
If you on some rah, you know, anytime, any place, and you get the best of somebody who's about that life, you know, you don't think they're gonna be waiting for you in the parking lot.
Yeah,
that's just common sense. Like Diddy ain't had no strings pulled with that.
I mean, he knew him. They knew each other. That's what I'm saying. Like but I mean, at that incident, it just spiraled out from that fight because it's like they stomped my man out. He came back and he was like bucking. I don't know why it took so long to like solve that case. They should have solved that one in like 2 minutes. Like, oh, who is it they fighting? Oh, he's associated with so and so. Yeah, let's go get him.
Put a warrant out. Yeah.
But all right, man. Anybody have anything else? Y'all want to go ahead? We shut this one down. So, partner words. We'll start with Phil. Where can we find you at?
You can find me on TikTok, Phil_Pack.
All right, CLS. Partner words. Where can we find you at?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. This is CLS.
Yeah, you everywhere now, man. You on Telemundo and shit.
Being Tubi movies next. Tubi.
Yeah. You said it said Tubi and you about to be what's that? X videos and shit, Pornhub.
Tubi and fucking Hulu. Yeah, Tubi and Hulu. All right. Tubi, Hulu, and Netflix. All right.
All right, Taj, where can we find you at? Oh, never mind. We'll go to Jesse. Where can we find you at? Any part of words?
You can find me at Kingdom Barber Lounge. Come get your haircut. On Instagram at Jessie the Barber and TikTok, Jessie the Barber. Peace.
All right, Taj.
Oh yeah, y'all
you was cooking tonight, Taj.
Huh?
I said you was cooking tonight, man.
Oh, you know, as I'm taking my foot out of my mouth now. I mean, I'm done with all that crazy stuff that I was saying before. I'm getting back on track, you know, but trying to speak some life into these people, you know what I'm saying? Man, y'all can catch me at you can catch me on IG, Sagacious Taj. I got some videos coming out called Sagacious Wild Kingdom, where I'll be talking about my animals, going through how I feed them, how I take care of them, rehouse them, the whole nine. So we look forward to that, y'all.
All right, the Manic Genius, aka Who Hurt You? That's what.
Everybody, they all hurt me.
So, parting words. Where can we find you?
My kid, he was excited to dance, and I skipped it, so he can't dance. Anyways, you can find me on Manic Sophistication and IG at the Manic Genius.
All right. And everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. You know, great topic as always. I appreciate, you know, Phil and Jesse giving that pushback, man, because I think we got to have the discussions from all sides. And I think that's missing a lot of times because I think sometimes, and I understand, like, conversations, like, trigger people up. But it's just like, I think you do got to be open to having a conversation because I was just talking to, you know, my wife about that. And I was just like, you know, when people are intolerant, you know, you never could get to the, like, I'll say the prevention place where you need to be in life. Because a lot of times, like, we're always like focusing on step 3 and 4, you know, what went wrong. But it's just like, hey, we don't never talk about how to avoid this stuff. So that's why I think you got to have the full conversation. But also, you know, everybody have a good holiday. You know, we won't be doing the movie reviews this week, but we will be cooking back up next week. I'll be dropping some, I'm going to start trying to do more shorts and stuff to promote the channel. And eventually we're gonna start probably doing some live. So just keep tuning in. We'll give you guys a date. I'll start posting like the lives so you can know in advance when it comes. So stay tuned and peace out. Happy holidays.